Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is a brief field test of the WURKKOS TS23 tack light. I want to thank WURKKOS for sending me the light and making the review possible. I know you're here for beam shots, so let's make this very quick. This will give you a rough idea. The size, very easy to move and operate. One-handed, nice two-way clip, strike bezel, charging towards the tail cap. There are two user-selectable output modes, outdoor and tactical. Outdoor is the default. These modes allow you to control up to 9 different output levels. Let's see if I can remember them. Moonlight, Eco, low, medium, high, turbo, and then the usual suspects, strobe beacon and SOS, all controlled through this very generous tail cap switch. I put my thickest winter gloves on and did not have any trouble whatsoever operating this light. You can tail stand and headstand. I may demonstrate that later. UI is relatively simple. I'll go over just the high points. You can get direct to Moonlight from off, press and hold. Click to turn on, click to turn off. Once the light is on, press and hold to cycle through Eco, low, medium, high. Double click from off or on gets you to turbo. Triple click to the blinking modes. That's not an exhaustive list of the options, just a very brief overview. There's a very good flow chart on the product homepage. I'll put that in the video description, but I know you're not here to listen to me talk. You want to see beam shots. All right then, let's get right to it. So here we are at the bridge, approaching in Eco. And look out a bit over the edge, low, down towards the creek, medium, and a good 38 or so, maybe even 40 yards line of sight. Go up into high. Let you see the extent of the beam. And there's a double click into turbo. So for path following, here is low. Even in this wide open environment, it's doing better than I thought it would, given that it's a bit of a bright night tonight. Got about a half moon out, more than enough downrange, and we have a reasonable spill working for us. We come around the bend here. Let me go up into medium. That actually gives me a lot better peripheral. If I was in a very, very wide open area and I wanted to do quick scans like this, I think I would prefer medium, but in a tighter area, you could definitely get away with low. So this test is going to look at the transition between medium and high. We're in medium right now, a good 38 roughly yards line of sight from where I'm standing. Lots of growth this time of year. Now we're going to move into a brighter area. Okay, we get right in here, and this is kind of about the limit of medium for me in this environment, but that's a good 60 yards or so. To move on around, tree in the middle there is at about 100, and then I go up into high and basic detection, some identification, yeah, no problem. Okay, here's a standalone high test. The far tree line that I can just barely detect is a little over 125 from my current position, but seeing to the front level of trees, no problem. Getting back another 20 yards or so, no problem, but getting all the way back to that far tree line, yeah, we've run out of illumination in this environment. And turbo. The gap between the trees in front of me, if you walk right past that, a good 95 yards, and then the tree in the distance is 175. I can just barely pick that up. You do, however, have a very generous field of view, and it's pretty bright within that field of view as well. And so, of course, that means a lot of the lumen output is going into that and not necessarily throw. We'll just let this run for a little while. I don't have step down information on the lights, so we'll just see what happens. A lot of people out tonight. I'm using an overhand grip, and so the edge of my hand is making contact with the head area of the light. There is some heat, but most of it's towards the very front of the light. It's not really bothering me at all right now. Over a minute so far. Heat is still manageable. I'm having a hard time seeing that tree in the distance though. Yeah, the bugs really like it. It's definitely hot, but not forcing me to alter my grip yet. And I think I'm seeing some step down here. At least so far, it's been very, very gradual. I guess I'll let it run to at least 3. Heat's holding pretty constant. Now I'm really noticing it. Well, we're over 3, and I pretty much lost that tree in the distance. And heat is really getting up there. And the heat is now just on the edge of being uncomfortable. Not there yet, but really getting there quickly. So we're over 3.5. Let's see if I can make it past 4. I'll shift my grip just slightly, move my hand back further. All right, looks like we made it to 4. I'm going to go ahead and shut this test down and let the light cool off. So here's a quick moonlight demo. I thought I saw something crawling on the top of this rock. I checked it with my headlamp in advance just to make sure it wasn't a copperhead, and whatever was there seems I've scared it off. But I thought you might like a quick peek at what moonlight looks like. Certainly if you were inside a tent or around the campground in very close quarters, this sure looks like it would get the job done. All right, one more time through the basic outputs, starting at Eco. Low. Medium as I try to max out the line of sight. I don't think I'm going to make it much over 50 yards with all that growth. Pan around to the right. Yeah, you've definitely got a very generous field of view with this light. And so I get over to the other edge, go up into high. I think that's pretty much the character of the light. It's got enough punch for most people in most applications, although it's not a big thrower, and more than enough field of view for a wide variety of applications. Okay, we're walking back to where we started along this path in Eco. I don't normally do a close quarters search, but I'm going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to approach the playground from a different angle, and there's up into low. So either Eco or low would be ideally suited for any type of close to intermediate range search. So that's going to close it down for the evening. I may do a cold weather evaluation of this light, really see how this switch works when it's really cold outside and I've got gloves on. If there's another test you'd like to see, oh yes, there's one of our many rabbits out tonight. But if there's another test you'd like to see, let me know. My general belief is that if you take a light out, put it under realistic conditions, it ought to be able to sell itself. And on that happy note, I'm going to shut it down for tonight. And as always, until the next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.